Alright, what's up, y'all? We back with another video. So, I really like doing that Star Wars one where it talked about the weird lore, so I think I'm gonna make it a series on the channel. So, today, I'm gonna talk about some stuff from my personal favorite franchise, Spider Man. Quick disclaimer, not every piece of lore I discuss is necessarily canon, but it's when I say lore, I'm talking about the franchise as a whole, not necessarily the main continuity of the franchise right now. So, like, it may not be canon to the current 616, but like the main universe of Marvel, but it is something that has happened in the past to the character of Spider Man. Just getting that out of the way now. In Spider Man Reign, Peter Parker kills Mary Jane with his radioactive semen. Yeah, so this is like, it's kind of more like a fan. They don't specifically say his semen in the comics. They don't say it. So they say the liquid excluding from his body, which fans then took to mean semen. So, I guess in a way it's right, but it's not necessary. That's not what it says in the book. Peter Parker is a victim of a child predator. It was one of those like PSA comics to kids that talked about like stranger danger and when to tell an adult if something's happened to you and all that type of stuff. That Peter, as a young child, was taken advantage of by one of his neighbors. It's obviously not canon. I don't think any I think off the rip, like any PSA kind of comics that came out back in the day are automatically non-canon. But it is a part of the mythos. Peter's nemesis, Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin, obviously, has cucked Peter Parker and his own son Harry on two separate occasions. Peter and J. Jonah Jameson kind of became stepbrothers for a minute when Aunt May married Jameson's father. One time, Dr. Octopus exposed Peter's secret identity to the public, and no one believed him because they thought Peter Parker was too much of a hoe to really be Spider-Man. Spider-Man is the original Power Ranger. In the 70s, a Japanese Spider-Man show came out, and it was heavily the influence of what would become the Power Rangers. I mean, it had so much stuff. It had them transforming, had a Megazord, had all sorts of stuff. So if you're a Power Rangers fan, you got Spider-Man to thank. Because that franchise probably wouldn't exist, or if it did exist, it would not exist as we know it without Spider-Man. Should I do a Power Rangers weird lore? Let me know. So this whole idea that Peter and Mary Jane being unmarried is like the status quo is actually incorrect. If we're talking about Spider-Man history since the character was created to current day, he's been married way longer than he's been single or in some weird love triangle with Mary Jane and Black Cat or whoever. In fact, Stan Lee liked the idea of Peter Parker and Mary Jane getting married so much that he rented out a stadium and made a halftime show of Peter Parker and Mary Jane getting married. This is real. Sandman became an Avenger before Spider-Man did. Peter's spider sense makes him almost impossible to beat at poker. So I'm sure at some point you've wondered why Spider-Man has a hyphen in his name, because most other superheroes don't. Superman, Batman, Aquaman, there's no hyphen. It's just so apparently when Stan Lee made the character, he put the hyphen in because he wanted to make sure no one would confuse Spider-Man with Superman, because they look so much alike, right? It seems like a pretty insignificant reason to have it, but I mean, can you imagine Spider-Man today without the hyphen, bro? So most of Spider-Man's origin stories that describe the spider that bit him as a radioactive spider, but in all the live action movies, none of the spiders have been radioactive. Toby and Andrew spiders were both genetically altered, and we never know the nature of Tom Spider. Michael Jackson was such a big fan of Spider-Man that he wanted to play Spider-Man, and he almost achieved it when he almost bought out Marvel. During the 90s, he was really wanting to play Spider-Man, and Marvel was on the verge of bankruptcy, so he almost bought it so he could get that role. But his management team got him away from that idea, and the role was obviously later given to Tobey Maguire. In one of the comics, it's revealed that Aunt May cheated on Uncle Ben and had relations with Peter Parker's father, meaning that Aunt May is Peter Parker's actual mother. They once retconned it to where the actual reason the burglar went to the Parker's house and killed Uncle Ben was because before the Parkers lived there, it was an old gang hideout and he was looking for his old money. Doesn't really break the story in any way. I mean, the point is, Peter lets the guy go and Uncle Ben dies because of it. But it's a little weird. It's a little weird they just decided to change that up. And as far as I know, they never unretconned it. Yeah, it's been retconned that the spider that bit Peter, it wasn't a stroke of luck that could have happened to anybody. Turns out that Peter Parker actually got his powers from a spider god that chose him to get bit. In addition to that, Spider-Man's actually been like a magic-based hero for like the last 20 years for some reason. This isn't really weird. This is more like this. I think this is more well known, but I still know some people who don't know this fact, so I'm gonna throw it in. If you are a fan from the Raimi movies, it might surprise you to know that the Raimi movies is actually the outlier when it comes to Spider-Man shooting webs out of his hands. And just about every other continuity, the webs come from web shooters. But yeah, that's it for now. I don't want to know if I want to make these too long. If you guys prefer longer ones, let me know, and I'll, get more facts for these videos. But I think short and sweet is the way to go for now. But, let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if you guys enjoyed. Tell me your thoughts about these facts in the comments.